coming to visit me. Let's see if they're here. Who is that? Is this somebody that went to high school with me in there? Mírate. Wow, you look good.
Yo.
Good to see you.
Ah,
it's been like a corona minute.
Yo, that part. Hold up. Yo.
What's up, Mr. Inglewood?
Yo. I'm out here with Afro millennial mama herself.
Hey. Check out the crib.
At the palatial estate.
Yo. Hey, you know it.
I mean, yo, shout out with Inglewood, South
Carolina, Westchester connects
out here in West Africa. Yo, this is a homecoming.
Inglewood.
Yo, you gotta love it.
You're the only person in the country know about Inglewood. You and me. It's just you and me.
Yeah, I just lost that.
That's it.
I mean, yeah, we're LA, buddy.
No.
LA.
Look at he dressed for the occasion.
Yo,
yeah, man.
What's going on, my man?
All right, good, brother.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Like, yo, I'm like, my man got on the U.S. Army gear.
And you got on your, you got your American shirt.
I'm like, hold on, that's funny. I'm like, my man has on all the U.S. Army gear, and then you see I switched it up, so we kind of switch roles right now.
Yeah, I switch countries.
Gotta love it.
Tell people your socials. This dude is famous. Y'all don't know.
Nah, but please check out
Habla español.
Claro que sí, yo hablo español. Entonces, si quieres aprenderlo o de cualquier...
Ellos no saben, nosotros en Los Ángeles hablamos español.
Exactamente, es más o menos como México, pero
Baja California.
Exactamente, pero Real Jet Set Brett, go check me out.
Real Jet Set Brett, I'll put it up there. All right.
World is so small.
Really.
Come check out my little crib.
Yo, little crib, yo, right.
Alright, let's see.
Yo.
That was cute. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Say hi to Uncle B, your other Uncle B.
Hey, how you doing, sweetheart? Ça va?
You know where he's from? Los Angeles.
Oh.
You remember Los Angeles?
She's like, I forgot all about that.
Did you speak? How many? It's 4, but what's the name of them? English. Do you speak Wolof? Tengo Wolof. Wahal? Francés. Español.
There's a new one too.
¿Hablas español? ¿Tú hablas español, sí o no?
A little bit.
Un poco. Southern rice dish.
I'm tasting like the fish has like a jambalaya kind of spice to it.
Yeah.
It's like, even like how we eat, everything is different outside the United States. I mean,
yeah.
I think a lot of people fail to realize that
we're in a bubble, like
we're in this bubble, and I think some people are so desperately cling to that bubble because it's what they know, it's comfort zone. It's like somebody being in an abusive relationship.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And not afraid to leave it or to run away or whatever.
Exactly that.
Like, I don't know anything outside of this.
It's the same thing when there was enslavement. Like people were scared to get away because you don't know if it's worse out there. You're gonna get your foot cut off, different stuff. So it's just the fear of the unknown, and you feel like you can deal with what you know. And I know a lot of people that feel like that, and it's normal. It's very normal. You feel like you can deal with it and find ways to, navigate through it because you're familiar. It's almost like playing sports. You play whatever, I don't know, soccer, but left field or one of those things. The whole time you get good at it, your confidence is built up. Once you get changed to something different, it's very scary. But once you learn it, you're like, man, you start feeling yourself. Can't nobody touch me. It's like here, when you go to a different city or you go to a different state in the US, you're like, oh, I could adapt to this. And you're like, what else can I do? And you keep, you know, the more I started traveling, the more I realized I can learn something from here. I said, what else is there to learn? What else is there to be exposed to? Because I learned that the U.S., it feels like we do a lot of things backwards, or we shoot ourselves in the foot.
When I started out, like, I was referencing just like with food, for example. Like, when you go elsewhere, like, you're eating fresh food, right?
Yep.
Like, you're eating in the community, right?
Fresh food is cheaper.
Fresh food is cheaper. This is like the health issues that we have in the United States. Sometimes we brought them, like, they're brought about by our own substance. Brother, right? I'm across the street. Chick-fil-A, KFC, Jersey Mike's. This is all just across the street.
Wow.
Right across from their side.
Wow.
So, I cross the street, like when I go run or whatever, I literally run by Chick-fil-A, KFC, Pollo Loco, and then Jersey Mike's is right on the other side. And then there's a Dunkin' Donuts. This is all within one.
Wow.
And so when you look at like that, you look at high fructose corn syrup, and how much, like, in order to eat healthy in the United States,
You have to work so hard.
you have to work hard. You have to be wealthy or have enough disposable income. And if you don't, then you're forced to eat like the junk. The junk is laden with sugar,
Right.
MS, like all kinds
It's
of
all
crap.
addicting, and it's like, it's kind of like we're kind of drugged up a little, because at certain times of the day, I'm like, okay, it's time for Burger King, because it's right there,
Yeah.
and I don't have time for my short lunch to drive all the way outside of what I was working in Watts, my last position, and I'm like, there's nothing here but Jack in the Box and whatever. And if I want salmon or if I want something else, I gotta drive 15 minutes to go get it, wait for it to be made, come back. By the time I'm at my office, my whole lunch break is over. But like, people share, people, like, their kids are their retirement plan. Everybody, this guy who works for us here, he sends most, Teranga, he sends most of his paycheck to his family. And, you know, where we come from, it's like reversed. Like, I always tell my husband, my parents were still helping me, even though I was married and had a kid, because we struggling. Like, you in your 30s struggling, and you should be like, you know what I mean? Your parents in their 60s got to help you with their pension and whatever, they finally own something. And it's like, it's crazy. But the debt was the part that I think really did it for me, because I was like, this is not fair. Like, if I didn't have a mortgage, I wouldn't have to worry about the timing of when to get pregnant or when to be sick, because I was sick the second time I got pregnant. I was pregnant in July for 3 months, and I missed a month of work, and I was worried about going back so I could pay my mortgage. And it's like, the mortgage that's what made me sell, because I was like, this house is old. Every time I gotta fix something, it's like $10,000. And I don't want to rent it and have that headache and be paying a mortgage from all the way over here. I said, let me just let it go, and I can have my dream somewhere else, you know.
How was that adjustment though? Like, again, like living in a major metropolitan city.
Merci. This is Ataya,
Merci.
Senegalese tea.
Ah,
After you finish, it's to help you digest your food. The adjustment is still going. It's still ongoing. Everything takes time. All the seasons, being away from family and places I know, being able to handle my own affairs, because everything is in another language. Even with building the house, I can't talk to the workers. They speak Wolof. I speak a little bit of, French. I can't help do stuff, People, it's nice when people think I'm Senegalese, but then sometimes it gets scary because they keep going in hard. Like, I'm like, hold on. Just a little bit, But I'm still adjusting. There's times of the year, like Thanksgiving the other day was a little hard. Not because I miss my family and stuff, I talk to them, whatever, but like nobody else knew it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you're right.
So you're by yourself, and like I could say Happy Thanksgiving to my mother-in-law, and she's like, oh, is that today? And so it's like you just don't feel the around you. So I go extra hard for certain stuff that I wouldn't. I actually understand like all the immigrants in LA, like the immigrant culture in LA, the Koreans, the Mexicans, everybody. I understand why.
You didn't understand me when I was an immigrant.
I didn't. But you was normal. Like I think because the Senegalese community in LA wasn't that big. But like, you know, you hear Mexican music bumping down the corner. You hear like people go really hard and they've never been to Mexico or their parents was from there. And you be like, why they so like, you know, but it's the nostalgia of everything. This little girl right here, she know who Chuck Berry is. She know who James Brown is. She know, like, it's way more important to me now that she learned that part of her culture and that I passed that down to her. And that I have somebody here that I can share with, you know. There are some African Americans here that I know. So we do get together. Like, that's important to me, too. I understand so much why people in New York, people in Miami, like, they go hard for their culture, even though they're not there. And they may have left there when they was 1. It don't matter. It's like you holding on to it way more. It's inside of you instead of outside.
I get that.
You know? So instead of, like, I could hear mariachi on the corner back home and be like, it's not really my type. Now I bump it in my backyard really loud because that was my environment. Do y'all want to? So you know how to negotiate? Do you know how to say something expensive?
I mean, I know how to walk away.
Okay.
That was the first one.
Today, he
act like you didn't want it. Did you have your teeth? Try it. It's really good.
People trying to come and just like, yo, asking for money. He's like, messy.
Messy, thank you. I'm good.
I'm like, yo, I don't know.
Yeah. So they drink that like 2 times a day, maybe 3. After dinner and after lunch.
Bouncing around.
That's true. That's true.
A good burger.
I have her watch. He knows it. Yeah, she watches what, Moesha? No, you watch Tia and Tamara, Sister, and you watch yeah, I had to watch a whole bunch of stuff. She watches Penny Proud.
Penny Proud, she's proud.
Oh, you have to say it like him though. How do you say it? Welcome to the Good Burger. The Good Burger.
She watched that movie like 3 times.
You know, eons a certain way, and you know, and yeah, some would say, yeah, you know, maybe they didn't live as long and what have you. But I think a lot of the things that we do, again, in the United States, you know, there are folks that are living, you know, to 80s, 90s, and so forth, and you know, and elsewhere, and they're perfectly fine. Again, when you look at the diabetes, when you look at the cancer, people in their 30s getting cancer, like. I went to a funeral 2 weeks ago for, you know, she graduated class 2002. I think her name was Talisha.
That young?
Yeah, she was, what, I'm 30, so she's 37. And,
like health related?
Breast cancer. Got in at like 34. I mean, maybe 34, 35. She fought it for about 2 or 3 years.
Oh, man.
She was on the dance squad, but yeah, she died a couple weeks ago.
I probably know if you saw a picture, yeah.
You know, poor girl, she had a daughter who was like 5 years old, 6 years old.
Oh, man.
And so you look at, you know, again, you look at that, you look at just the amount of diabetes. One thing's for sure.
1-5.
Like, when you see, I see my here, a lot of other places, I like, you know, Cuba, whatever. People are lean, like, again, I'm just looking at, like,
I was gonna say, how many obese people did you see?
You don't see it.
And if you see anything, like, maybe you'll see, like, women who are a little portly, but they're not, like, lean, like, wobbling and, like, you know.
But that's just, I think, like a physical
Right.
A little bit more dense.
Like, but it's not nowhere near, like, even people who are heavier, the type of fat that you see is not like, you don't see cellulite.
It's not blubbery.
Right. It's very different. Like, people look healthy. They look healthy.
Yeah.
And then you see, like, people in the States, they got the pot, but like stuff hanging over. Like, you can tell it's toxins in their body that don't know where to go.
That part.
But you see people here, they just look like a little beefier. It's not the same. It's not the same. There's no like, excess where it looks like they're sick.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Black people, we the coolest, we the baddest, we the flyest, we the realest. I love y'all. Peace.